The first clock stops. Every city has its darkness. Some of it you can see in back alleys, in late-night bars, in the faces of strangers you shouldn't trust, but the worst kind hides in plain sight. This story begins with a clock, and when that clock stops, so does your life. Detective Elena Voss was a veteran, 20 years in homicide. She had seen bodies mangled by rage, lives ended by greed, quiet tragedies born from jealousy. But this case was different. This killer didn't break in, didn't fight, didn't leave fingerprints. Just one thing. A black and white photograph of a woman no one could name, placed carefully in the victim's pocket. And every clock in the house, no matter the make, no matter the power source, stopped at exactly 3:17 a.m. The first to die was Daniel Cray, a respected history professor at the University of Selbridge. He was found seated upright in his study, as though he had simply fallen asleep at his desk. But the coroner's report told a different story. No drugs, no trauma, no suffocation. Daniel Cray's heart had just stopped. And in his pocket, the same mysterious photograph. In the following weeks, 4 more deaths. Different neighborhoods, different professions, different lives. But the pattern was the same. Each one seated peacefully, each one with that same black and white photo. And the woman in the photograph? She was changing. First, her head tilted slightly, then her lips parted. By the 5th victim, she was smiling. That smile would haunt Elena Voss for the rest of her life. A break in the case came from a retired librarian. She recognized the woman in the photo as Eleanor Shaw, a city archivist who vanished in 1968. Rumor had it, Eleanor kept a private collection. Not books, but of secrets. And anyone who crossed her ended up in her archive. Following the lead, Voss found Eleanor's last known address, a crumbling apartment on the city's edge. Inside a hidden room, shelves lined with boxes, each box labeled with a name. Inside, letters, jewelry, and even locks of hair. And then, the final box. It had Elena Voss's name on it. Inside, a fresh photograph of her sitting at her own kitchen table. Her clock in the background frozen at 3:17 a.m. The phone rang, and it was an unknown number she picked, and it was a woman's voice which whispered, "You're next, detective." Eleanor Shaw was born in 1942. She was brilliant and precise, the kind of person who could recall the exact location of a single document from 100,000. But she was also private. Some said she was cold. When she vanished in 1968, her disappearance barely made the papers, and no one knew about the secret room until now. Voss brought the boxes from Eleanor's room to the precinct. Inside each, pieces of someone's life and death. The earliest name dated back to 1959, the most recent 2 days before Voss found the room, and every victim's death had the same cause: undetermined. The librarian told Voss something she hadn't mentioned before, a story passed down through staff at the archives about how Eleanor could find anything, not just records, but the truth people tried to hide. And if she found your secret, she owned it, forever. Voss started digging through unsolved deaths from the 60s, and there it was, a cluster of sudden, unexplained fatalities, all within walking distance of the city archives. Every one of them had a clock frozen at 3:17 a.m. Eleanor Shaw's legend was real. One night, while reviewing evidence, Voss noticed a photograph she didn't remember taking. It was of her sitting at her desk in that exact moment. She checked her phone. No photo in her gallery. Her desk clock read 3:17 a.m. The clock strikes again, and this time it's ticking for Elena Voss.